Hello. All right, we're going to try to do this again. We're doing unseen. Excuse the lighting. It's late, but I wanted to get this in. I don't want to skip any more days. We only have a couple more days, and I've skipped too many days already, to be honest. Um, so let's continue. Southern politics as usual. They ran businesses, school boards, and newspapers. They were prominent planters and well-known politicians. They were genteel and respectable in the eyes of their white peers, eminently reasonable. But these influential men and women also espoused virulently racist views. They were among the thousands of members of the powerful Citizens Council who banded together to defend segregation and white supremacy across the South. By the time this photo was taken in Jackson, Mississippi on November 13, 1963, the councils had been up and running for nearly a decade, using their political clout and connections to help pass legislation that favored segregation to intimidate black voters and civil rights workers and to preach the gospel of racial integrity in the media. The unknown woman depicted in this photo, an employee of the council in Jackson, stood behind a table adorned with Confederate flags. She was selling bumper stickers and copies of the book, The Cult of Equality, A Study of the Race Problem by Stuart O'Landry, which compared blacks to apes and described them as weak in the face of hardship and misfortune. That's on behalf is hardship and misfortune. So I don't know. Sometimes I think black people like hardship and misfortune. They wear it as a badge. It's weird. The council distributed this book and others like it to white high schools around the state. Negroes do not face difficulties or adversities with courage or determination, Landry wrote. They slink away rather than meet the issue. The councils burnished their image with positive coverage from supporters in the media and with the help of local leaders like the mayors of Jackson and Greenwood, who were also loyal members. Officially, council members publicly deplored the violence of the Ku Klux Klan, but many quietly condoned its brutal tactics. And as this became increasingly evident, some correspondents like Claude Sitton of the New York Times began to abandon the polite language that many newspapers had used to describe the groups. Sitton took this photo and several others for a story about Southern politics, which was never published. But in his published article, Sitton did not mince words, describing the councils as racist and militantly segregationist. Rachel L. Swan. But even the Times wouldn't publish the photo, so I'll show you. Look at that. Organized. Show my organizing. It wasn't just one group of people organizing. And this is what people don't understand. These people here are still organizing. They're reading. That you can say what they're reading is garbage, but they're reading these books. They're studying these books. And by the way, when I was getting my degree in education, you have to take the history of education. You have to read about all these different home education or homeschooling. And a lot of these people homeschool. And when I went to try to tell black people you need to homeschool, they looked at me like I was crazy. And I thought, well, my people just don't know any better. But then 2020, when all the schools shut down, I said, okay, now we can do this homeschooling. Nah. I said, you sons of guns. You don't give a damn what your children learn. All this time you've been complaining and saying you didn't have a choice, and when you got the choice, you didn't do nothing. So that's why I created the Connerson Center. By the way, 0 patrons. So there you go. One side is doing this, has been doing this. We used to do this, and no more. Very powerful book. Unseen. If I ever get some stable housing, I'm going to get a copy and keep it as a reference. Until next time, try to stay safe, try to stay sane.